Testing 1, 2, 3. Not sure if anyone can hear me. Testing, testing 1, 2. Yeah, okay. Mic is working there. Okay. I think the mic should be working. Not sure if it's coming through or echoing or whatever else. If anyone's in the stream, they can tell me. Let's take a look here. Yep, sounds good. Okay, excellent, excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and add some. All right. Hopefully that looks okay. Honestly, I'm just gonna sit down and do some work. Um, I'm gonna try to have the stream up and running so I can look at the chat here, for sure. But hopefully my audio doesn't kick out. And I'm going to be doing a full shell swap here on this thing. Hopefully that goes okay. Let's get some screwdriver set situated here. Oh man, yeah, so this particular swap is a little more difficult than normal because I have to actually pop the screen out on this device. So I will be doing a replacement of the screen here as well. So it's not for the faint of heart. It is definitely a more involved procedure here. Let me go grab my. Kind of the screen is so the screen is kind of adhered onto this shell. You have to pop it out here, so that I've already done a back swap. So this is the same one that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the one from the kit. This one is from a company called Josx, JSAUX, and they made a back shell first. What was nice about this shell was that it is crystal clear, just like the front will be. But they changed some thermals here. They added a big heat pipe here, so this dissipates heat. They also added these extra fun triggers that are like different sizes, so they've got a little bit more of a give, or a little. They're taller, so when you're playing, they've got more of a click there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to leave this one. The other one, the one that comes with the kit, is just kind of a stock, like it's got the stock style buttons. They're just clear. I'll be showing that. You know what? I think I left that in the other room. I'm going to go get those. Give me 1 second here. 1 second, right back. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So here's the kit. This is from ExtremeRate. And no, they did not send this to me. I am not sent things very often. But I'm going to try to follow along their guide. I'm going to pull it up in a second. At the same time, they do provide quite a bit of things. So these are my own tools, but these are the adhesive strips. They're going to go on the screen, so that's cool. They're set of screwdriver and a plastic plastic. These are the same tools that pretty much do for any type of clips. Spudger, I guess is what it's called. Here is, I guess it's, I think this is for the back shield, and it also has a few. I still need to figure out to try. Oh yeah, I mean, just pick up any set like this. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. These sets go for about $15 or whatever, and there is a tri-wing in here. It's this row right here is tri-wing. You can you can see that logo there, but it's got a little tri-wing option in there. Either way, there is a tri-wing option in there, so that'll work for you. So it looks like they provide all the screws needed. Ton of screws. I will probably not be using these screws. I will be using the screws that came by default. Looks like they provide a metal pick. This will be used for pulling on the split. I have already seen someone do it, and you can scratch your screen fairly easy with this, so I probably won't be using that. I'll be using plastic. So let's say I found a set like that. I might have $20 metal block. About buying it, knowing I just need to. Oh man, but I mean, I use this thing on everything. Like I'm constantly, if I got to take apart something or whatever, this set is usually my go-to. Here are the buttons that are come with it. Let's go ahead and show those real quick. I think it's pretty neat what they provide here. Get closer here. Add that to, I do woodworking. I've dropped countless thousands of dollars in tools that I needed. And yeah, well, I mean, if you're any type of hobbyist, that's kind of the way it works, right? You spend 50, $100 on a piece of equipment and use it for one task. And you always say, I'm going to use it for something else. And then you don't. So here's some buttons. These are the actual buttons that you're going to be using, the shoulder buttons. I will be using these. These are the back buttons. I will not be using these. But it is cool that they provide them for the shell. So here are the back 4 buttons that go right there. But again, I'm going to be using the clear shell from Josix as opposed to ExtremeRate. Here are the touch pads. I will be doing that. Again, all of the buttons here, including the D-pad, ABXY, all of that. So I will be using these. What else? More shoulder buttons right here. And it looks like we've got the triggers. So we've got the left trigger, right trigger, and the other touchpad. So here's the 2 touchpads and the other trigger. So yeah, it seems like it's a pretty cool kit. They provide a little manual or whatever. I don't think this gives you anything specific according to this manual. It's just like, hey, there's a go to the website for the installation guide. That's pretty much all it says there. Also, they provide adhesive strips for this. I probably will be using this because I saw someone try to reuse the other ones, and for the clear ones, it looks bad. So you want to have a new clean adhesive strip on there. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side over here. So that'll be used. I have opened up my Steam Deck multiple times. I have done all sorts of things. I've replaced the SSD multiple times. I have gone from the 64 base model to, I went to 512, and then I ended up finding a 1 terabyte. So there is a 1 terabyte SSD in my Steam Deck at the moment. I don't even know if it's on or not. Let me check if it is. I'm probably gonna hit the button and turn it on. Yep, yeah, it's on. So there it is right there. Playing Street Fighter 6 on it. It does work really well. But I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. So shut down, confirm, and there we go. So the last time I used it as a black case. I have a skin on it already from D Brands that I purchased. It's a brushed aluminum skin, and it's nice. I had the blemish when I installed it right there, but outside of that, it's great. The original back case, I did have a wood. What's going on, Tim? I did have a wood trim on it, so there was a wood the back, but now it's clear. So yeah. Anywho, my point is I've done multiple things on it, and I haven't stopped. I do have the Hall effects sticks on here from GUI Kit. GUI Kit? Yeah, anywho. GUI, I forgot their name. Guamon? No. You know what? I don't remember. But they're, you look up the stick company for the Hall effects. And basically, you get no drift because it's all magnets. So it's a really nice, smooth feeling, and you'll never get drift on these because they don't have normal uh, sensors on there. So that said, it's already been kitted out kind of bit. It's. I even got a 3D printed D-pad that's a little better than the stock one, but I feel like this one has a little sharp edge on it now. But I could roll my fireballs and all that a little better on this one, but not by much. So I am going to use the clear one that comes with the new kit. So, but yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and move all this out of the way. I won't be using those. I will be using these. I will be using the triggers and the bumper. What I won't be using from this kit, of course, is I won't be using the back, the back one. So I'm going to go ahead and move that. Crack it. There we go. Boom. So this is what I'm going to be using. This will be the replacement shell right there. Transparent. It is nice. It does have a good smooth texture to it. I have been a fan of ExtremeRate before. I had heard some people have problems with alcohol and it kind of melting the case, but not with this one from other products. I haven't had that problem. Maybe my alcohol is not, I don't know, not 90. I mean, I tend to use 91% isopropyl, so that shouldn't be a problem. But again, either way, I don't usually take alcohol to my electronics, especially things with screens, because they can remove coatings and all sorts of stuff. So, but I digress. Feels nice and smooth. I'm excited to use this. So there we go. So that'll be where that screen is going to go. And I will not be using that, although it feels just as nice. What I don't like, if you can see that, is they added their own like logo here. ExtremeRate logo, EXR. And normally, if this was a solid case, you wouldn't see that, but since it's clear, it's there, and I don't like that. So that's not for me. I don't remember if they put one here in the front. They did not, from what I'm seeing here. So I'm not seeing one here. Oh, no, I lied. Looks like there is one right there. I don't like that. I don't think there's a way to remove that. That's the problem with clear plastic, right? If you try to chip or bend or do anything on here, what it does is it becomes white, right? So it loses its crystal tendencies and its translucency. So I'm not going to be able to mess with that. But hopefully you won't be able to see that. I mean, I have to look for it. You probably can't see it easily there, but it does say EXR ExtremeRate or whatever the company. It's right there. So either way, that sucks. But I won't even notice. I'm trying not to worry about that. I wish they didn't do that. They don't need to brand it. We know who it's from. They're going to brand it, put it on the edge somewhere maybe, so that it wouldn't show. Okay, so I won't be using that. So I'm going to put this to the side. And I will be using these for the screen. I don't know if I need this. I haven't looked. I don't know how much of this is here. I don't know if there's much I need because this one already has the grill here for the air vent and all of that. So I might not need that, but we will see. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking it apart. It's fairly easy. Should I use the tools that they provide? No, I'm not. I'm gonna put this to the side over here as well. And we will go. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. This is a pretty cool little electric screwdriver. Yeah, so I'm not going to have much to talk about. If anyone wants to chime in and chat and ask questions, by all means, I will see it. Outside of that, I will just kind of be working on this. Hopefully everyone is ready for the holiday, 4th of July. It is Wednesday, so it's nice. Yeah. I do have my little mats here. It's nice to kind of keep them a little organized when you are trying to keep things together. The Steam Deck on the back has 2 different types of screws, one longer than the other. So the inside ones are longer. So we've got 4 of one type, and then, or maybe the outsides. I don't remember. One of these are longer than the other. So yeah, so it's the outside ones that are longer. So you can see that right there. Oh man, yeah, and also we've got 4th of July is on a Tuesday this year, right? If I remember correctly. So, I work for a company that works for banks or does bank work and financial work and all of that. And because of that, there there is no we're not getting Monday off, so we will not because we're not getting Monday off. Of course, it's a it's a work day, but I know no one's going to be doing anything on Monday. Monday's going to be one of those days where uh, no one cares. Like no one wants to be there. So I don't know. Get it to focus a little better. There we go. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Monday should be a nice chill day at work, so that's good. Uh, that'll be nice. And then Tuesday will be a day off. We are closed on Tuesdays for us. So the nice part is, I guess, will be Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday will be kind of a quiet day at work, not too many issues, and then Tuesday will be off. So, but of course, Wednesday will probably be a pain in the butt, right? Isn't that the way it usually works? Yeah, I'm the low man on the totem pole, so I'm the catch-all guy Monday, basically going to be sitting back with my feet on my desk and doing nothing. Yeah, well, I mean, but when you say feet on your desk, do you extra roles? Do you still go into an office at this time, or are you kind of work from home at this point, like me? I don't remember anymore. I know you travel a lot, but I don't remember if you are going to go into an office. Also, any word on your move or your particular situation? I think you said you were moving to maybe the East Coast. So with the Steam Deck, I've opened mine multiple times, so I've already got it. Although this is a newer shell, so this is the first time I've opened the shell since I've kind of pulled it down. But it's nothing but plastic clips here all the way around. You just got to be careful. You do that. Also, be sure to take out your SD card. You do that because if you don't, you can snap the SD card. So there we go. I've got a 512 in there, so 512 gig card in there plus my 1 terabyte SSD, so 1.5 terabytes for space. And the Steam Deck and Steam OS is actually very nice when it comes down to the DC move is still on the table, just going over finances, a lot more expense, cost of living. Yeah, DC is I mean, is this a voluntary thing? Like they ask you if you want to do it, you're like ready to do it, or is this something where they're going to do it whether you like it or not? Because DC is definitely one of those places where I don't know if I could move to. I've been in the DC traffic. It is horrendous. And I'm guessing, is it actually DC or is it going to be outside of DC, like somewhere in Maryland, Bethesda, or something like that? because I know that DC is pretty expensive to live in, and at the same time, it's awful to commute into if you have to live out of it because you can't afford to live in DC. So actually, DC and probably won't even take my car and rely on them. Oh, well, fair enough. Okay. Wow. And I can't even imagine living in Texas without a car. You really can't. It's so crazy. We're looking at apartments close to the metro stations. Yeah, that's the way it works. I know that. We had a friend that moved out there, kind of a family friend, and we visited them once. And that was a trip going to visit them. The traffic was so bad. I think we got there like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and got stuck in traffic, and we were 2 hours in traffic just to get there. Bad pizza. I don't ever had it. I had Chinese, I think, is what we had when we went there, and I think that was pretty good. And who is it? Isn't there like a famous? There's a famous. Is it a hot dog place or? I can't remember. There's a famous type of food. I think everyone talks about it in the DC area. Ben's Chili Bowl. Is that it? Is it the Ben's Chili Bowl? It sounds familiar. Yeah, this one's a little harder to take off. I haven't taken this off since I put this on. Wow. I don't know why. I don't remember what's holding it there. I don't know if it's a. I think it's a heat pad, right? It might be a heat pad. I don't remember. I put this on it, and it's been working fine. Oh, yeah, it's a. So right there, I forgot this. There's a heating pad to dissipate heat. So this case from Josix, what's nice about it is it's got this metal pad, and you can add like a magnetic fan if you want to right here. So it dissipates heat from right here. So that's really cool. But I forgot, so it's kind of adhesive down, or not adhesive. It's just kind of stuck there. It's not really hard. Um, yeah, Ghoulie kit. There we go. There's the Ghoulie kit set right there. Yeah, their hot dogs are what they call a half smokes. They're like half pork, half beef, kind of a cross between a hot dog and a brat. I'm just trying to think of the fact that like most hot dogs that aren't all beef are already a pork beef dog. Hmm. Like cheaper hot dogs are like pork beef chicken. They're like a not all beef. I don't know. I living in Texas, of course, you've got we have a lot of German stuff here. That a lot of settlers, so we get like kolaches and a lot of brats and that type of style German sausage. There's a lot of that kind of just became part of Texas culture. So chorizo and all of that. So sausage. If I'm gonna go with sausage, it's all pork, not usually like a blend, unless it's like a Mexican style chorizo. Best way I can describe it is kind of like a gritty dog, hot dog, kind of like brats have that grittiness to them. Hard to describe. No, I get it. I get it. Um, when I lived in Syracuse, Central New York, there was a everyone loved these hot dogs. They were what is it? I'm gonna put white hot dogs. They're white hot dogs. They're weird. Snappy grillers is what they're called. And they call them white hots. And honestly, man, I tried them multiple times, and they just weren't my thing. I don't know if you've seen these before. They're snappies. This is what they call them. From Hoffman is the maker of these. And I'm not pulling up any pictures. Yeah, they're weird. Let's see if I can pull this up. Screen. Yeah, there we go. So it's these over here on the right. They're like these white hot dogs. Um, I've had New York City hot dogs and they're good. And yes, you're right. They need to have a good snap, a good casing, like a crunch to them. So that's how I like to make them. I usually blister mine a little bit when I grill them up. But Central New York has got these white ones, these snappies, Hoffmans, and everyone like they're a thing. And I didn't like the flavor of them. Also, they call them hot, like like, but they're not spicy in any way. So I don't know. Yeah, look, it's again one of those like local cuisine things that people probably have had their entire life, and yeah, so not my not my bag. Anywho, I've got to take this whole thing apart now, so this will be fun. Look at that. Anywho, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I have taken it apart a few times, but not to the point where this needs to go. So this is gonna be fun. I have to take it apart completely here. And I could open up a walkthrough or whatever, but it's at this point it's just tearing it down and pulling out all of the ribbon cables and just keeping track of all of that. It reminds me of the worst hot dog I've ever had in my life was at a scouting event at a church. Their snack bar was open, ordered a hot dog. It was literally great. Took one bite, threw it away. Not often I can say that. Yeah, man, like I'm a I mean, first off, again, I'm gonna keep the Texas is always known for good road food. So we've always had like I know it's kind of infamous everywhere. Like gas station food is always like, ooh, it's ambiguous. But I mean, you've seen it. If you've watched any food TV of any type, they always talk about Texas and like Buc-ee's and all the big gas stations and whatever. And I have always been a fan of gas station hot dogs. I feel like there have always been kind of the best place to get one outside of a movie theater. It was the best place to get a hot dog that wasn't at like a fair or a specialty place, right? You always knew that you were going to get like high quality beef hot dogs, and if they were on the roller long enough, they get nice and toasty and good. And I've never had a bad gas station hot dog. As a matter of fact, most of the best hot dogs I've ever had have been from a gas station. So um, I digress. Like I've never had a gray hot dog. Best barbecue place in the world, the Joe's Barbecue. Um, There's locations at gas station in Kansas City. Yeah, but I'll go out of my way for their burnt ends. Oh, fair enough. Okay, burnt ends are good. They are good. I will let the best barbecue in the world comment linger as a Texan. That there's no such thing as good barbecue outside of Texas, but that's my opinion. You know. uh, I've traveled and driven, and we've had barbecue multiple places. Arkansas's got really good barbecue. I've had Tennessee. I've had Georgia. I think I've had Kentucky, Memphis barbecue. Always good. I've had barbecue from coast to coast. I can say I know a few things. Good enough, fair. Yeah, absolutely. You've traveled, so I can I won't deny. Uh, that said, though, if anything, one thing I won't argue with you, or I won't let you argue with me, is that Texas does beef the best. No, don't even come at me with that. Texas does beef and brisket better than anyone. Every time I've tried to have brisket anywhere outside of Texas, it is bad, so bad. So beef, brisket, Texas. You argue with me on pork and other stuff, I can. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, unfollow us. Anywhere else that does beef is wrong. Period. I stand that out as a hill I will die on, sir. There is no way anyone's going to convince me that any type of beef anywhere else is better. I have seen the pictures of brisket from other places. I have tasted brisket from other places, and it is just not uh, appetizing. And I've had they get the smoke ring wrong. It's just not 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 good eats. Um, the lowest, smallest place in Texas does brisket better than any place outside of Texas. There's no way. Best fried catfish I've ever had was at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. Arkansas, yeah, Arkansas, between Little Rock and Magnolia. Okay, yeah. Catfish is definitely good, and there's lots of places that do it really well. So there's no denying that. Um, 'Cause it's not technically seafood, I guess. It's considered it's a river fish or trash fish, as people call it. I don't know. I've always had good catfish. My wife doesn't like catfish. She's not a she's not a fan of the catfish. I'm a burnt end guy, but if they're not available, I usually do brisket platter or sandwich. And so, like, I gotta ask. You say that you have a brisket platter. Where would you say is a better brisket, or you where you've had the best brisket? Because if so, sir, you gotta travel down here, and I will take you to some. I will take you to brisket that'll blow your mind. Here in Texas, without a doubt. There's just no. You're not gonna win that one on me. I can't even imagine uh, beef better anywhere else. Granted, Texas is one of the few states I haven't been to. Oh God, jeez! But I put it between Joe's and Kansas City. Kansas, man, Kansas sugary sauces and Sugar Fire here in St. Louis. St. Louis, their ribs are St. Louis style ribs are good. I won't deny that. Good ribs. Um, but I just you need to have some. You need to have some Texas style brisket, sir, because uh, it's life changing. I'm not a huge ribs guy, but I dabble in them from time to time. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, they're it's just it's done different, man. Like it's the rubs are different. Also, Texas tends to have smokier, spicier sauces, especially barbecue. The barbecue sauce is always a little spicier, and I am every time I have barbecue sauce, unless it's what is it? What's the state that does more of the vinegary, watery sauces? Probably Memphis. I know. I think Memphis is one of them has it. One of the states tends to do like the. It's almost like a wash. They tend to use the brush a lot to kind of just put kind of slather it on there. It's not thick. Um, and that's pretty good. Uh, but but outside of that, I'm not a big fan of super sugary sauces. It really depends, I guess. Pork is good with that. A good caramelized sauce on pork or on ribs works because you got to have there's got to be some cling to it. When I do travel, I usually judge a city on its pizza, especially if I'm a college town. That's a tough one, man. Honestly, I will tell you, living in Central New York, I had more bad pizza in the state of New York than I've had anywhere else. I think New Yorkers have had that. They've gone through that whole we are the best, we make the best pizza or whatever, and then they've kind of rested on their they just assume that all the pizza they make is good. And I have had, like I said, I've had more bad pizza there than anywhere else in the country, without a doubt. Um, living in Central New York, buddy, I had so many bad slices. And I was just like, what happened? I thought this was the state of New York. And of course, everyone's like, well, this ain't the city. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's fine. But like, if you pride yourself as someone that lives in the state of New York, I would think that you would have some good pizza everywhere. And that's just not the case, apparently. Um, I'm partial to St. Louis style, having grown up on it, but despite excuse me, all right, yeah, I will. Don't shoot the messenger here, folks. And this is controversial, but I love pizza. I love all pizza. I would never kick pizza out of bed. It doesn't matter where it's from. I will even say that Little Caesars pizza is better than most other chain places. Like definitely better than Papa John's, without a doubt. Don't at me on that one. Absolutely the worst pizza. Ugh. But I've had bad Little Caesars, of course, but most of the time you just order one and it tastes damn good. But that said, though, a deep dish is my all-time favorite pizza. Like I will put down a slice or two of that. I used to be able to put down more, not anymore. But and I will tell you, I love me some deep dish for sure. I did make it NYC. I have three things I'm trying: pizza, hot dogs, and pastrami sandwich from Katz's. But Katz's is a chain. We have a Katz's in Houston, and it's good. Like we've got a better Jewish deli in Houston than we've got Kenny and Ziggy's, which is like bombing. But Katz's is not the place for pastrami. There's better places in New York for pastrami sandwich, uh, for sure. Little Caesars got me through college. Once every few years, I stop in and get a hot and ready and remind myself of what bad pizza. Dude, I'm telling you, like I don't know if you've had it. I mean, you say you have it recently, but like that's not as bad as other places. I've had delivery pizza from the bigger chains that are just worse. Um, I think Domino's is pretty good, but again, it's hit or miss depending on your Domino's experience. And the same thing, Pizza Hut can be bad. I like Pizza Hut's pan pizza out of anything else. Yeah, but it's not. Katz's. I personally, I think Katz's has become overrated. It's one of those places that's just like mass produced now. I can't get behind the fact that there are better Jewish delis in New York. But I digress. If you're going to stop and get it, go for it. Go for the tourist experience. Go for it for sure. But I would definitely not want to go to Katz's, especially because I know we had a Katz's in Houston, and it was all right. It was wasn't anything to call home about. The next part is all the screws so far seem to be all the same size, except this one, and I remember where that one goes. So that's good. That makes it a lot easier for sure. Look up Kenny and Ziggy's in Houston, and check out the reviews and the videos on them, and tell me what you think for sure. Of all the places I've been, though, my favorite is Day Pie and Gino. Yeah, Gino East. I've heard good things about Gino East. I've never been for sure. I am not looking at a walkthrough, so I am kind of playing this by ear here. I should probably, but I'm not going to because that's not usually how I roll. I tend to figure things out myself. Um, I need to get the battery disconnected, but I haven't gotten that far yet. It's down here. And I started taking it apart on the right side. What I can't remember is why I can't disconnect it here, even though I've done this before. So I don't remember. I've been trying to refrain from pulling up a walkthrough, but I think I have to take apart this clip right here. Let me try that. Yeah, okay, so that gets off the bumper right here. Well, the bumper's loose, but it's not coming off. I gotta be gentle. I don't want to break anything. Of course, everything's kind of layered in here, and it's nice that all of these they seem to be the same size. All the same size so far, so that's cool. That was this. I can't remember. I think there's a screw down here, but I can't remember. Anyway, I will have to look something up in a second on how to do that, but I'm going to start just taking most of the screws off and then go from there. Let me go ahead and start taking off this heat shield over here on this side. I'm going to take off this as well, this other joystick, because that way I'm not putting pressure on it. And I think there's a new revision of these. I think these are the 1.3. I think they just released a newer one with some fixes or updates, but I don't have any problems with mine. As a matter of fact, They're infinitely better than the stock ones for sure, in the way they feel. So, not often I see tongue on the menu. My grandma would have loved this place. Chicken and Z's now. I see matzo ball soup on the menu most of. Yeah, well, yeah, of course, for sure. It is, and again, it is 100% a Jewish deli, and it is amazing. And you can check out the reviews and whatnot. It is our go-to. We go every Easter with family. It is awesome to go. Um, it is a tradition at this point, and it's so good. It is worth. There's never really a wait because we get there early enough, and it's always a blast. And the portions are fantastic. The prices, of course, are just as expensive as pretty much any other deli, but it is there is only one. There used to be two, and then COVID happened, and they closed the second location. The second location had just been open not long, not long after before COVID. I mean, so it's sad that they had to kind of um, they had to close that location. My first job was as a busboy in a deli. Got hooked on lox and bagels. Yeah, yeah, man, for sure. If you've ever, there is a place in Syracuse that got me hooked on this. So I grew up eating a lot of Lebanese food as well because of my family, and one of my favorite things is lebna, which is it's a type of cheese. It's kind of like a tangier cream cheese. Um, it's not goat. It's just it's like a tangier, more lemony, more of a sour cream slash cream cheese. Anyway, I don't know how to describe it, but my point is it's got a tangier texture, but it is about the texture of cream cheese. And there is a little cafe that serves breakfast, like Mom's or Mama's or whatever. And I went in there once and I ordered their Lebna bagel. And it's hard to have a bagel with anything else now. They cut it in half and just slather Lebna cheese, and then they put uh, olive oil on top of it, and oh my god, it's so good, so good. You could find Lebna any place, like any Middle Eastern uh, grocery store, or whatever. And if you find some bagels and slather some of that on instead of cream cheese, cream cheese is good. Don't get me wrong, I love me some cream cheese, but try some of that on a bagel. Yeah, it's LEBANH usually, I think. So NAH. I think there's an H at the end of that, which you just typed. Lebna. It's spelled differently phonetically depending on how you want to spell it, because it is a translation. I don't think there's a proper English uh, way to spell it. Yeah, you find it if you like I said, if you like cream cheese and you like that, it's really good. You know, just that with some fresh like pita bread, some of that, and some. They also have like the Mediterranean spices. It's usually like a mix, kind of like they usually have like the Italian powder mix, so you can use it for dip bread. They also have one for that. Put some of that with some olive oil. Man, great. Bread is always bread is always good though. Bread is always good. I think this pops up. Be sure. Yeah, that clips up. So I thought it did. Take off these labels here so I can show it. Looks like there we go. That way I don't cover this bottom corner when I'm working. So far, this has been pretty straightforward. Just take out screws and take apart, and I'm pretty familiar with putting it back together, so that's nice. And almost every screw is the same size. All of these are the same size, except this one and this one. Everything else, they all in the same size. So that's good. Good job, Valve, on that. It makes it far easier to have to put this thing back together. Considering that over the past week or so, I have been working on MacBook, no, I'm sorry, PowerBook G4s, older Apple laptops. And what's going on? Um, I've been working on old PowerBook G4s, and the let me tell you, um, Apple, I love them, and even though those machines are considered more repairable in the sense that you could like actually find parts and repair them, uh, that they have like 17 different types of screws from length to width to like thread size. It's so annoying. Um, Trying to keep track of those, and occasionally you might put the wrong like they'll have like a 2 millimeter screw and then like a 2.2 millimeter screw, and you put the 2.2 millimeter screw and accidentally in the wrong place, and then you're hunting for it. No, I don't like that for sure. Yep, same size screw. So nice. Should be good. What's going on, Steve? How you been? Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. So many ribbon cables. I mean, the nice part is Valve did make this very modular, so that means that you can pretty much replace any part on here. The sad part is they made it modular, so there's a lot of little modules, a lot of ribbon cables doing a lot of communication back and forth here. Same size screw, so nice. I'm not going to separate these. These are actually a different color. These are black screws, and these go to the heat shield right here, which I have taken off multiple times, including there's a screw under here. Remember correctly. Yep, that's the bigger screw. And if you've come in here to replace the solid state, it's this screw, and this screw. You take these out, including the 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 set of screws for the back. 1, 2, 3 for that, and then it's the one screw right there for the solid state drive, and that is it. That's all you need to take apart the Steam Deck. Been okay. Definitely put a 1 terabyte SSD in my own Steam Deck. There you go, man. Yeah, like you've seen this. This is probably a familiar sight to you. Um, like I was saying, it's just these 8 screws for the back, the 4 middle ones, and then the 2 on the outside, and then uh, the 3 screws on the heat shield. 1, 2, 3. One underneath the metal one, and then this one right here, and then you're set. Unplug this battery here. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually unplugged the battery. I'm sure people have said to do that. There we go. But I actually have to unplug it because I have to get it out of there. we go. Battery unplugged there. Emulation is easy, man. Just EmuDeck. Get a keyboard and mouse. Plug it into your Steam Deck. Boot into the desktop mode. Go to emudeck.com. Download the EmuDeck software. Drop it on the desktop. Double click and just follow along, and that'll install everything. And then once you do that, they'll even show you how to like transfer over ROMs and whatever else. So fairly straightforward. I'm going to keep this separated here, but yeah, I've got a 1 terabyte in here now. Right there, so a 1 terabyte. Let's see here. I took the label off because I figured it did better for heat dissipation. There we go. Let's see. What else? I don't think I've got to take off every. Well, maybe. Again, I'm trying not to use a walkthrough, but I might just for this particular situation for the. Let's see here. These are part of the heatsink. I'm going to put this separate and put them back in a second. One. I think that one's locked in there. Yeah, okay, either way. This. Healed up. There we go. All right, so that takes out the heat pipe and the that'll show you that fun custom AMD or the. So I'll be repasting that. That'll be nice to do that for sure. I've got some nice paste right here. I'll be cleaning that off. I'll get some alcohol up there and if I go on the motherboard. So this is the entire motherboard right here. So that's nice. It's not too bad. Looks like these are different size screws. These are 1.6 is what it's saying, I think. 1.6. Oh, no, sure. You know what? I don't want to strip that. Let me do this by hand here. You know what? I'll use what they gave me. How about that? They gave me these in the set. Everything else is usually pretty junk. I don't tend to use this kind of stuff, but oh no, that's a bigger one. Ah, that makes sense. Bigger right here. Oh, this one's in here. I guess the Loctite that they use. Fairly robust in that one. Got it going. It's spinning. There it goes. Wow, that one was in there. Yeah, so these tend to have blue Loctite on them. You can't get the focus, but it's the blue Loctite that they put on there. It usually makes it pretty hard to kind of work with. Sometimes it settles, so got to be careful. You don't want to strip this. Strip them, especially if they're part of the motherboard, then you can't get that out. I think the antennas are under here, but I don't think do I need to unplug those? You know what? I'm going to leave those alone. We will see what happens. Okay, so we've got most of this unplugged. Here, there's another screw right here at the bottom. Get. Yeah, this one was easier. Wasn't as bad. Looks like all three of these are the same size, so that's nice. All right, so that lifts up where it's almost there. So we are getting close. Let me I think this is the fan after here. Let me I don't want to be careful with that. I don't have a spare fan. Although the nice part is you can pick up all of the parts. If anything breaks when you're doing this, it's not to worry. The nice part about Valve is they have been very open about self-repair, and everything in the Steam Deck can be repaired or replaced for fairly cheap. You can find all of the parts on iFixit. They do sell everything. From the batteries to the fan. So yeah, there's a tiny connector there. Cool. And pull out that fan here. How easy is to change memory in a MacBook? Would depend on the model, but I mean, if it's a regular like an older model with like a regular unibody one, it's just the 8 screws on the back, and just pop off the back panel and just pop out memory. Pop the old memory out, pop the new memory in, or if there's no memory in there, just pop it in. I don't remember what model you had, but if I remember correctly, I think you have like a unibody one. If it's a unibody one, then yeah, it's pretty simple. There we go. We got the fan out, and we can lift up this motherboard here. It looks like there's some ribbon cables still attached to it, although those should just come with it. Actually, I think one of these ribbon cables goes across here and connects these together. So, or maybe not. Maybe this one is connected here. I don't remember. Again, I am not looking at the teardown for this, and I'm doing it on purpose because I like to kind of figure this out, and I tend to be pretty gentle when I'm kind of doing this kind of stuff. So that's how I learn, right? This is yet another. Is it the same size? Yep, it is. Okay, good. And again, like I mentioned, most of them, it's my model 2012, want to change it for a 4 gig to 16. Yeah, so if the 2012 MacBook, if it's not a Retina display, you should be good to go. It's again, just pop off that back and pick up a 16 gig set of DDR3. You can find it on Amazon for fairly cheap. I think a 16 gig set running me about $30, give or take nowadays. Not too much. So that's nice. They haven't gotten too rare yet, but I would hop on it. Eventually, they're going to stop manufacturing some of that stuff, like the DDR3 will stop manufacturing, so I mean, you just unplug it, unplug the battery, and the battery on those MacBooks is you open it up and it's right there. You can just like lift the cable. You just kind of use. Usually, if you get a kit, just get something like that, like a little plastic spudger, and you're just gonna like lift up the battery connector and pop it out. I mean, there's a ton of walkthroughs online for that. Just look up 2012 MacBook, 13-inch or whatever, and you should see a fairly easy walkthrough on memory and all of that. Yeah, Adam, I'm in the middle of changing out the case on this on the Steam Deck. I figured I needed to do it anyway. I got it, and I didn't really have anything to talk about tonight, even though there's all sorts of stuff about Microsoft and the redacted documentation Sony put out, and just a mess. A lot of lying, a lot of lies from Sony regarding what they're saying, and that they're feigning this like whole like, oh, Microsoft by buying Activision, we're going to lose business and whatnot, and then you get emails from Jim Ryan with comments that should have been redacted. You know, them saying like, oh, we don't care, like, and just a mess. It's been a mess. Yeah, just more. It really goes to show. Um, the messy business of corporations, right? Like even Microsoft isn't really not at fault at something here. Oop, I dropped that, but that's in here somewhere, so I will find it. No, it's right here. This one's a different size screw, which is interesting. So that, although it's not completely different because it looks like this size screw is the same as these. They're not using, or there's the ones that they use on the heatsink, no, on the motherboard. So every motherboard, like all the boards are tied down with these small black ones, and they're all the same size. So it's looking like there's a few size screws, and boards are tied down with these little black ones, and everything else is using the longer silver ones. These up here. So that's nice for sure. Uh, I probably will have to look at a guide real quick to see how to take out the screen. But from my understanding is you just have to kind of like heat it up. I might have to go get my well, no, I've got my heat gun right here, but it's got to be gentle. It can't be too hot because you don't want to melt plastic. You got to give it a little bit of heat to release the adhesive. But I will double check that. I don't want to end up breaking anything for sure. Looks like this audio cable is glued. Oh, it's adhesive down. I've just got to lift that out of there. This board is already loose. Do I need to take that out at all? I feel like I can just take out this whole bracket because all of this looks like it's a subframe. There shouldn't be a need to take all of that out, but I might be wrong. Again, I'm kind of guessing here. I've already got all of this loose, but I think it's held down by something here, and I can't figure out what it is yet. There might be a screw down there. I'm not sure. I hate dealing with springs. These have springs in there, and you have to get them in just right. So I'm gonna have to take those out anyway because I'm putting in new ones. So let's go ahead and pop those springs out. There we go. Spring right there. Is there a screw down there? Yep. See, there's a screw right there that I'm gonna have to get to. So that looks like this pops out. If I remember correctly. This pops out. I think it's on a like a little joint. Let me see. It's right there. Pop it out. Looks like Astros beat the Cardinals there. Rolls 10-7. Just got my notification there. I have I don't know about hyped. I mean, what is this? Like the third time it's come back? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, it's fair. Is that I haven't? That's the first game of this series, right? Like, is it? Are they playing two? Is it two or is the second? Did we win the first one? I didn't. I usually get the notification. I don't remember. Did we lose yesterday or win? Or did the Astros lose? Sure, I remember. Yeah, like the little season. Yeah, Adam, I Rolls came in here and kind of was trying to say that Texas. He's never been to Texas, but he thinks that beef that brisket is not done. Like he says that Texas doesn't have the best brisket. And yeah, well, I mean, it's not my fault. Your Cardinals lost tonight, man. Like it just happens. Also, Texas has the best beef. We do beef better than anybody. It's a fact. It is a natural. It is a fact. There is no denying that. And if you haven't had Texas beef, that's on you, sir. That's just that's on you. Yeah. Yeah, Tim Rolls was in here talking about barbecue, and he's never had Texas brisket, but he's really like trying to come at me with that the brisket is probably not the best. That other places have better beef. So I don't know. Uh, yeah, I'm just saying the best burnt ends. But burnt ends are like burnt ends are nice. But they're just not. Uh, It's Joe's and KC. Best brisket is in St. Louis. St. Louis doesn't do brisket, sir. Like whatever you had is not even remotely close to Texas brisket. My list stands where it stands. That's fair. That's fair. But I'm just telling you, Kansas City, like no, like St. Louis can. There's no way. Yeah, all we do is eat beef. I know. We eat beef, have beef. We are beefing, sir. Burnt ends are meat candies. Yeah, they're great. They're like they're the scraps of the brisket and thrown in barbecue sauce. Don't get me wrong. My doctor can take my cigars, my chocolate, my sweets, but take my and you take my coffee and red meat when he fries it for my cold. Yeah, sir. Yeah, you're that we can agree on. Coffee, red meat ain't happening. You ain't taking that from me. I don't I don't care what happens. I don't remember how to take this off. I think these clip in for sure. I just don't remember. Let me take a look at the how they go here. This is R2, and this would be L2. So this would be right here. So how would this clip on? I guess it just clips on, right? Looks like there's a screw in there. Let me take this spring out as well. Right there. Sorry to hear that. I have a coworker with gout and know how bad it can be. I have gout. Yeah. Oh, brother, like my dad has had gout on his like his toe for years. And he just he doesn't from my understanding is he still eats meat. Like he's never stopped. He just whatever. I don't know. So I'm not saying your pain isn't justified for sure, but brisket requires a chef with a nickname that's iconic, like little, skinny, big, etc. Smoker of questionable quality. Well, the smoker predates most uh, most businesses, right? Like that would be the best way to put it. The smoker has to have been there longer, right? Like the smoker has been bequeathed. In Beaumont, Texas, my buddy Big Rich and his cousin Tiny crush it. Yeah, I mean, there's Austin, of course. Central Texas in general has like some of the best world renowned. I mean, Franklin's and all of that. I think has earned its name for sure in any barbecue aficionado and lexicon. But my hometown and home area of Houston has yeah, Franklin's is great, man. But like I can tell you that the pitmaster at Franklin's has taught many people, and many of those have kind of offshot. You know, they've gone and started their own places. In Austin, there's a few that I like. They have uh, La Barbecue. It's L.A., but it's not L.A. It's La Barbecue, and that's one of my favorites in Austin. Houston now has Blood Brothers. It is a group of individuals my age that grew up in Alief, Southwest Houston, and they are Filipino and Vietnamese, and they are from Texas, born and raised. They just first generation here, and they make some of the best barbecue in the nation now. I think I think they won a James Beard or something on it. Uh, Very good barbecue spot. Sadly closed down. It was yeah, man. The that swinging door. They just closed it after I don't know, like 50 years open or whatever, and he closed it down. It's sad. And you just said you just retired and just didn't decide to pass it down or anything. So I'm very confused on what happened there. But I digress. It'll one fusion that you don't think would work but does is Korean Mexican. Oh, dude, yeah, buddy, but you have to look up what Houston is. Houston is a giant melting pot, like especially in Southwest Houston. I grew up around Nigerian, Vietnamese, Mexican, which I am, Honduran, Salvadorian, and all of us grew up together, and we all went to school. And then as we got older, within this generation, they've all married each other. So there's all sorts of restaurants in Houston like that. There's been for years now. Chinese, Korean, Mexican. We've had cilantro in the Texas area for years. They used to do bulgogi tacos. Um, uh, what else? You're talking about Salt Lake, um, Tim, and that they have one location in Round Rock, but their original location's out in Driftwood. Uh, I've heard Pecan Lodge is good. Also, maybe family didn't want to run it. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The family didn't want to run it or whatever. I don't. If you had family, I don't understand. I feel like it's weird to kind of like let go of that legacy. On our pizza topic earlier, weirdest but good pizza I've ever had was a crab rangoon pizza in Des Moines. Yeah, man, that's great. That's always a good. I'm always for mixing and making new flavors, and that works. Let me see here. What's connected here? Like I'm missing something here, man. Like these pop off. I know they pop off. I've had them off before. Just trying to move this up closer real quick and take a look at it. It's the bumper. There's the spring, but I feel like I know the screws right there. I get this trigger off, and I think these pop off, but I can't remember. What's interesting is I think these are caps, though, right? So, like, if I was to look at this, like these are caps for that because this doesn't have the hinge. The hinge is still on here, so there's got to be a way to pop this cap off. And I'm trying not to look up the teardown, but I just might have to do that now with this. I'm not seeing a release outside of just taking it off the hinge, which I just might do. I can't reach the screwdriver in there to get that last screw, so this has to come off somehow. I just don't remember how. Kind of stuck here. Let me look this up. I have to look it up now. Every time someone puts pineapple on a pizza, Joe Pesci dies a little bit. I love when people use that as a meme. The the Joe Pesci holding him back as they put uh, pineapple on a pizza. There's a Goodfellas. Uh, So if anything, if anyone wants to know, so ExtremeRate is the company that makes these. They've got a full set. I'm doing the clear. They've got an atomic purple. They've got a clear black, a white, which is sold out. Looks like the solid color ones are costing them more, I guess. Emerald green, which I didn't see before, so that must be new. And they've got a red and a clear blue, and they've got this chameleon one, which is pretty neat as well. Kind of a purple blue color, so that'll be neat. But I went clear just because I have a affinity for clear shells. I don't want to see their walkthrough or whatever. It looks like they've got a YouTube video more than anything. All right, gotta do that. I grew up in Connecticut, and I feel like I'm still getting surprised regularly when I learn about other person who has recommendation for some excellent food in New Haven. I never. Tim, does it matter brand on memory? Not at this point, not anymore. I mean, there's so many out there, and honestly, they're all memory is manufactured by certain companies out there, and Samsung and Crucial and all of those companies. They all make the same chips, right? So like, here we go. Looks like grip and pull the trigger to the right. Grip and pull the trigger to the right to release it. So it looks like, so that's what it looks like here. It's like you're supposed to. Yeah, that's what it was. So like that's weird feeling. So you have to grab the trigger and kind of hold it and kind of pull it to the right. And what that does is that removes it off the hinge. So it looks like you take the inside of that, you transfer it over to this. So I will probably be doing that in a little bit, but that makes more sense. And I guess this side as well will be the same as you kind of grip it and do it to the inside. There we go. Yeah, that's what did it. I didn't want to break the hinge because that since the new buttons don't have the hinge, this would be hard to replace. I would have to order new ones and have to stop. But okay, so that does that, and I can continue now because I knew that there was a way to take those off. Looking at Amazon, I see so many different prices and branding, so just making sure. Yeah, Adam, if you want to throw a link up there for Tim over here, he's looking for a 16 gig set for of DDR3 for a MacBook 2012. So that should be just a SODIMM DDR3 kit. Usually the company that I've seen recently that does it is a company called TimeTick, TIME. And I know that they have kits specifically for MacBooks. They at least they marketed them. New Haven is cool, but weird town. First time I went there, I drove around Yale's campus and couldn't help but think I'll be working for these kids in a few years. uh, oh, Yale. I got a friend of mine whose daughter just finished just did her undergrad or just graduated from Yale. Very cool. Very cool indeed. All right, so it looks like we were able to get everything out of that. So that will take off that board right there, boom. So that's one board right there. And this one is also out. I'm just gonna take off this last ribbon cable. There we go. And again, this whole situation is going to be just like me transferring it all over to the. Oh, looks like this is adhesive down. What's going on there? Right. Well, I don't want to be careful with that because that one doesn't want to come off for some reason. It's like I can't get out of the because there's a bit of adhesive on the edge there. Okay, so these are the ribbon cables for the touchpads, and I'm not going to take them off the touchpads. I'm just going to leave them there. I am going to take the touchpads out though. And looks like it's 4 screws. Oh, wait, hold on. We've got the button membrane. And it looks like this is the button. This is the not the steam button, but I don't even know the menu button, I guess it was called. We've got the membrane there. And that's the actual steam button. And we do get clear ones of those. So that'll be cool. I've never been a fan of those buttons. They're a little too low on mine. So it's a kind of a pain to push them. I always feel like I'm not pushing them. They don't have the give. No, I'm not gonna mention the clip of the game that I just saw or that I just got a notification on, but it looks like there was a home run in the 8th by a certain dancing little guy. Well, my boss pointed, but just those old Gothic looking building my boss pointed out that George W. Bush belonged to. Oh, yeah. They made a movie about that, right? With Joshua Jackson. They never really got more work after that. The Skulls. Is that the movie? Nope. There we go. Thank you. No stripping. All right. That should release this. I should release the touchpad. There we go. So this is the touchpad. And I will keep those screws together. And this right here is the yes, the ribbon. Yeah, he did. I mean, but like between Skulls and Fringe, there wasn't much between that. Or do you remember? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't remember Joshua Jackson doing much of anything between all of those. Between that movie. Well, now that I'm hungry and know I'll never be part of the elite, I think I'm going to call it a night. Looking forward to checking out the. Oh yeah, man, yeah, go for it. It's been over an hour and a half, and I've got some time to go. But like, I'm not even halfway done with this. So please, I appreciate you just hopping on and chilling and talking food with me. And again, get yourself a ticket to Texas, my man, and get yourself some good Texas barbecue for sure. Like, I promise you, I'm not overhyping it. I'm not the only one that says it. For sure. Shout outs to the Hungry Plebes. Oh yeah, man, for sure. For Father's Day, I got a Blackstone, and I seasoned that, and I think I've cooked on it every day. I cooked up some shrimp on it today for dinner. I made some, I guess, shrimp tacos on there. Averages 4 to 5 projects a year, actually. Really, man. Well, I guess now I don't know. I feel like he isn't like I don't remember him doing anything before he did Fringe, right? Or am I just exaggerating there and I just didn't watch enough TV or movies? I felt like Skulls happened and then he kind of disappeared. He might have done 1 or 2 movies that I'm forgetting, and then I remember him coming back or doing Fringe, and that was awesome. Have a good one. Yeah. Okay, got all that taken. I've got the motherboard here, and this should be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, this is all loose. There's nothing really holding it except clips, I think. It's just clipped down that. There we go. Got a few things still underneath it here. But I think I should be able to just pop out this whole frame. So I'm going to wait. I think this whole frame comes out. because I mean this frame has to come out. It's where it's definitely where the motherboard screws into, but there's no frame in this one, so. I'm not saying this project was him being the main star, but he's had roles in it. Okay, it's fair. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad he's still getting work for sure. I definitely like. I don't like seeing actors kind of go to the wayside, especially ones that I feel like I don't think he ever did anything controversial or anything um, weird. Joshua Jackson. So that's good to hear that he's still getting work. I saw the news earlier that apparently Madonna like had some like collapsed and she had like a bacterial infection or whatever. It looks like she's gonna make a full recovery, so no worries there. But still, kind of sad to see that she's just feeling her mortality now, right? All right, so the whole touchpad here just comes off. All right, that is the touchpad right there. It's held down with these 4 screws, so I'm gonna have to pry that off and put on these new ones in a second, these clear ones. But that'll be done in a little bit. Got the 4 screws for that. I keep those together. Off camera over here, but just. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We're slowly chipping away at this. What else here? Let me take off this other touchpad. One. I might get to the point where this is fully assembled and then stop and then maybe film the rest of it. Only because I might have to step away and get some coffee and whatnot. But either way, we're getting there. I mean, this is the disassembly part. I guess is the the hardest, and then you just kind of do it in reverse here, right? But from my understanding, this frame, this entire frame needs to be able to come out um, separately. And also, this one needs to be. All right, so I'm gonna keep all that together because that was weird. I can't seem to get that ribbon cable off. At least with Joshua is he got drunk at a hockey game and beat up a security guard in the does it during creep days, but nothing. Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's the highest of controversies. Uh, Nowadays, there's far worse controversies, right? Right, so there's the D-pad membrane, and I've been in here before. I replaced this this D-pad with a 3D printed one, and it worked out pretty well. It fit pretty well. It was a resin printed D-pad. It was nice, but I should have done a different color for sure. They've got a purple one, and it was a really well done print, and worked out pretty well. It was nice because if you haven't seen what the D-pad looks like for that one, it's more of a bowl, and it's really hard to kind of play fighters with it. But this wasn't the best either, so I still haven't found a company to make a better one yet. This was someone designed it; they made it look like a Vita one. So this, I think, was a good attempt, but after I put it in, I really could never get 100% used to it. Although to be fair, it has worked well in Street Fighter 6. So we'll see how I do with the old one. Okay, where are we at here? Well, I seem to be at a point where I am out of visual screws to kind of take off. I think the screen comes out next. Let me go ahead and take these buttons out. So here are the buttons, which I won't be using again. I'll keep them with the shell if I ever need to put it back together, which I probably never will. But it'll just be more junk to move to the new house that I'll never use, and no one's gonna. It's not like I can resell the shell, right? Like, who wants it? You could just buy a new one from iFixit for $20. I think is the back shell and $20 for the front shell, so $50 total. I think and I'm guessing on those prices. I think it's pretty cheap, like 25, 30. Or you could just buy a new shell from Extreme and get a different color if your buttons are broken or whatever. All right, so this. Maybe this one. Let me see here. Is there any more screws under here that I'm missing? No. Looks like these are all the antennas. So yeah, it looks like I am going to have to take this out. Or maybe not. I feel like this needs to just come undone from here. But I think the screen is attached to the front. So, and again, I need to go ahead and start maybe taking the screen off. I might do that. I've got my heat gun here, so I can do that. There's no screws in here. I'm going to lose. So let me just go ahead and start doing that and to pry it off. I guess, man. I just can't imagine. I don't think Ducks really paid residuals, right? He was a Disney. He was a Disney child actor at that point, right? And so they don't exactly pay you big money. And yeah, either way. I might have. No. Okay, so the buttons, I think I did drop a button. It looks like I forgot to take the button out of there, but it doesn't matter. These come with new ones, new clear ones, so I'll find out later. So that was another button that I missed. So the menu button, start and select, I guess is what you can call it. What else here? What am I missing? I feel like that's it. This is it. I'm at the point where I can kind of, but I think the screen is holding it because the screen is glued down and pressed here. So with the screen off, I think that allows you to kind of lift this out and then it separates from the frame. And again, I am guessing here, but I'm going to try not to. So I'm going to take a look real quick one more time at their tear down. How far do they go? Oh, it looks like they do lift the motherboard out completely. So and the speakers have to come out too, right? So all right, so let's take a look here and see how I get this done. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, right here we've got all of this. Got the adhesive cover. It's the small shell. Still gets paid every time it gets sold and streamed. Sean Keenan said his duck check that one is enough to pay my bills for a few. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Like I forgot. Yeah, Keenan is in the Ducks movie, and I didn't think about the fact that I guess residuals about streaming money, man. I mean, that's so that I don't know if that's really a big money maker for them because I know everyone's kind of screwed with the streaming contracts, especially the old movies, right? All the old actors aren't getting paid their residuals properly with from streaming. All right, so that comes off. That is the sticker that goes over the under the SSD here, and from there, that's the that would be the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, I'm guessing, is right there. So this module right here is that. So I got to unplug these antennas here. Let me get those done. Oop. And oop. Okay, there we go. So that unplugs these antennas here. And so that allows me to kind of lift this and out. Looks like this ribbon cable comes off. Well, all of this is gonna be coming out. All right, so that comes out here, and then flip this over, and there's a ribbon cable right here. You have to undo if I did see. Okay, boom. All right, so there we go. So that is the Steam Deck motherboard. That's the entirety of it. That's the RAM, the processor, and there is the SD card reader right here on the back, right there, and just everything just kind of goes everywhere. All these ribbons. Yeah, so this comes out, and there are some more screws underneath here, from what I'm gathering. There we go. So this is the audio board that comes out right there. And then what else here? What am I missing? Let's see here, what else? Right, so then the LCD wire is right underneath here. So this is where the LCD goes. And so you would kind of lift this out of the way. There we go. So if you cracked your LCD, you have to get all the way under here to get to this ribbon cable. And once you're under this ribbon cable, you can then at that point go to the process of your screen. But there we go. And Valve did a really good job on labeling all this. For example, what I have noticed is every single one of these ribbon cables is labeled. So it actually says panel right there. If I can show that. So I think that's pretty cool to show that. You can see that it says panel right there. So that's pretty neat. All right, so that's the panel, and the panel kind of just unplugs there. So that means that the LCD is now unplugged. It's down here. Bring it down and bring it over. A little lower. Okay. Yeah, so that's unplugged there. So now comes the next part, which I think is the screen, which I'm gonna double check here. Oh, right. I've got to take off these speakers. These are adhesive down, so these are going to be a pain in the butt. Of course, Keenan could be exaggerating the size as well. I don't know. Keenan seems to be a pretty good guy. I don't know. Yeah, I could hear the adhesive coming up. There we go. So there's the adhesive for the speaker, and once you get that done, you have to kind of pull these out because these have to go into the new shell anyway. So kind of just stuff down. Ribbon. God, they have to put things under stuff, so then you have to unnecessarily take this ribbon cable off. This white ribbon cable has to come off just to get to the a speaker cable. Yeah, this seems not very efficient in its build. Like yeah, it's modular, which is really cool, but also very certain ribbon cables shouldn't have to be under other ones, which means that you would have to take one thing apart just to get to the spot that it's tied to, which makes no sense. Got to be careful, of course, using not to puncture a battery. I'm just getting that adhesive down, and these are sharp, so I definitely got to be careful. I just want to kind of get this tape, just kind of gaffer tape you use, fabric tape. That'll pull that, which will undo all of these. And this is the antenna. This right here, this board's PCB is the antenna for the Wi-Fi, but this is the speaker. It looks like this little wire right here is the plug for the speakers on the main board. Yeah, man, like that's so funny you mentioned that. I think Pete Davidson kind of gets a weird rap, right? Like everyone wants to hate the guy because he's like kind of weird, just kind of. But so far, everything I've seen from the guy, he seems to be pretty good, pretty chill guy. Also, I kind of like that he's pretty outspoken about writers and making sure they're getting paid, and he's been a pretty cool guy. So I haven't seen anything that really says that he's a jerk or anything like that. So, all right, so this gets the speakers out, and then this is the Wi-Fi antenna. So why is this like that? It's just that comes undone right there, and then all of these right here. Val, I'm not putting all this adhesive tape back on it. It's just going to lay there and it'll be just fine. It's never a reason that all of this adhesive tape needed to be put on here to hold down a wire that's already wedged between stuff. Where's it going? It's not going anywhere. There's no need for all that. You put the adhesive, they put the adhesive strip that wraps around the wire here, but then it's under the battery. So like, what's the point? You can't remove it. This is one of those scenarios where you're just like, cut it, just cut it. So silly. Yeah, that's all I did. Silly. Don't, folks, don't do that. Don't follow my. Just take these. But, there we go. It's only crumbs. I mean, yeah, I guess so. That might have been. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian either, but I would be a giant fool if I said that if Kim came at me with any type of like desires that I would say no, right? But that seems like, yeah, sure, okay, dude. I'm sure you have the willpower to say no to Kim Kardashian. She's definitely not my type of person at all. But at the same time, like, if Kim Kardashian was like, "Hey, you want to date?" Like, I mean, where am I at here? Okay, so those come undone. Yep, yep, I've done that. Done that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. All right. So now comes the adhesive part. Did they want you to take the Wi-Fi antennas out? Just I don't think they cannot, do they? If they do, I'm. Oh, it's because they're stuck together here, so it's because they're taped together. Like there. Okay. So those are the speakers that come out and they're taped together to the Wi-Fi antennas because of course they are. So those will come out. Boom. All right. So now those can stay there. And the next step is the adhesive here. And so turn that on. Temperature, we're not going to go more than 100 actually. 100 C. So if you're unfamiliar with, I'll turn the camera. You can see my workstation. So we're going to set the temperature down to 100. There we go. So we'll bring that back. So I've got to go about 2 minutes or so. Good. There we go here. And I don't think I've got my, this will work. Essentially, just gotta work, let's get the heat around the edges here for about 2 minutes or so. Indecent proposal situation. Courtney may have had issues. Just say it's Kim. She's worth over $1 billion. Let me knock her up and get that child support money that paid for the prison. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna blame the women for something like that. Like, that's that's uh, that's all on you, man. You see a bad, you don't go walk into a bad situation. But, low. Let's go just a little higher. Everything just to speed up the process here. We'll go to 150 and I'll just keep moving it. It's nice and hot. Not too hot though that it burn you, but just hot enough. Like probably. Man, what happened to 18 players? We're getting there. Gotta kind of be slow and just. I'll start getting my brushing up ready here. Gotta kind of pry it up, kind of get under the adhesive on the edges. You gotta be real gentle. I want to cut. So one of the problems that I've seen online is if you use the tool they gave you, which is like a metal like guitar pick, you use that to kind of cut through the adhesive. The problem is if you scrape the edge of the screen right here, this edge is black paint on the edge. So if you scrape that, you end up kind of creating like a little opening there. You can see it through the screen. Like it's not damaging the screen because it's just a bezel, but that black is kind of the masking. So you don't want to ruin that. And of course, if you don't ever want to do this and you just want to do, you could buy a screen. Again, the screen I think is only like $35 of a iFixit. If I remember correctly, it's like 35 bucks. They charge it. It's really cheap. The screen isn't a very expensive part. It's the labor of kind of going in and replacing it yourself, right? So getting a screen replacement is cheap. It's getting the screen replacement and installing it yourself. That's a kind of a pain in the butt. That's the hard part, right? And that might be it. I'm gonna put this down here. Drop. Go right here. Just kind of pull up. And man. Yeah, I see it lifting up right here from this edge. Kind of want to kind of get under it. Be gentle. Don't want to crack or break anything. No rush, really. I can always reheat it back up, add more heat. What I can do is I could heat up this corner a little more. Let me do that without the suction cup there, of course. Just add some more heat just for this corner. And what that'll do is that'll start bringing, the heat, of course, is what it's doing. It's loosening the adhesive around the edge of the screen. And once you do that, then this is the hardest part of the whole install. Everything else is just screwing things and putting things back in, piece by piece. And like I said, I probably won't finish all of this on camera just because I've got some things to do before the end of the night. And I will probably sit down here and do this later. Maybe come back on stream later. But the biggest part is I want to get this mostly taken apart here and at least put the screen into the shell. So I'm going to just kind of loosen that up right there. Put this back here. All right, so yeah, I can. I've got this D brand skin on here, and I think what's happening is because that adds just a tiny bit of thickness, I can't seem to get underneath it. So I'd have to just kind of remove this D brand skin a little bit. And this D brand skin is adding just a millimeter of thickness. That makes it hard for me to pull this screen up. So what's nice is when you add a little heat to these, this vinyl peels right off. You can see, right? So good job, D brand, on that. But this is coming up anyway. Reminds me of taking apart old iPads. They would do the same thing. Trying to get just a little lip under. Yeah, I can see it's coming up. Once I get this edge in, I can really there it goes right there. So as you can see there it is right there. So you want to be gentle and don't want to scrape upwards, right? I want to lever upwards. I want to kind of just come in and scrape, kind of go downwards here. And I think if I do that just right, I can kind of keep going here. And now this edge is done here, I should be able to kind of put right under there. There's some hot air underneath there, get that adhesive to kind of loosen it. On the edge here. No scratches yet. Just get all this deeper and skin off of the edge here because this seems to be where I need it, and this adds just enough thickness that I can't really get the edge of the screen. I should have known that that would be a problem for sure. Again, this is the hardest part, the shell replacement. So no one's done this, or we finally just got the shell replacement after a year and change with the console out. But I'm sure this would be one of those like mods that won't be as popular, or if it is, it's going to be done by specific people, not by just the usual folk. There we go. And again, this isn't really difficult. It's just you got to take your time and be tedious. It's just tedious. Working my way around it without, I don't want to add too much pressure. Really. Step away here. Thank you, D Brand. Appreciate you being one of the first companies out there to have a skin ready to go. Yeah, it's never here's not adhesives loose. Come on. So we are up here. I can still see the lip of what I've already done. That's nice, although the adhesive is still there. So if I don't do it right, it's just gonna stick right back on because of the heat. It'll reactivate it. So maybe I'll just work my way around this way. Yeah, I can see what they're talking about with the black paint or whatever, so I might have to touch it up and add some. I see what it's doing. Just even the edges here um, are just by me putting the tool in, I can see where it might be separating, maybe making a little mark around the screen. So this is definitely not the best tool to use, but I can't imagine a plastic one being better because you really have to, the tolerance here of the screen and the plastic is so thin that it's just not, I don't think there's a better way of doing that. You kind of have to cut it, cut this adhesive. So see this, what you don't see is it's like micro edging right here. That's problems. So there will be definite some touch up of the screen, which I will do off camera before I put it all back together. But I could definitely see this being a problem. And if there's got to be a better way to kind of get this screen off. Obviously, heat is the factor here. So I'm gonna do some more heat here. Yeah, and again, you don't want to insert the pick more than like a quarter of an inch. You want to lift it from the bottom. So like from down here and lift upwards. And what I'm seeing on their tutorial, it is just work my way around the edge. Yeah, just right here just seems to be like a spot that doesn't want to really work with me. And I don't want to push it any further without cracking the edge. The glass right here a spot that just doesn't seem to. I don't think that's where the screen goes. Yeah, because under the battery there, you don't see the. Definitely not a spot there. So I'm going to work my way back around this way. There we go. Starting. Okay, here comes the screen. So there we go. See the adhesive coming up. So now with it, what I would do instead of using more of that, since you've now got it pried open, you should be able to kind of feed hot air under there if you've got the right tools, of course. But now that this is there, I'm going to put plastic under here. It's supposed to should be able to kind of heat all this up a little bit and get that adhesive to loosen up better as opposed to trying to use indirect heat through the glass. Yeah, I can hear it. There it goes. I hear the adhesive giving. If you don't want to use too much force, you just want to. Yeah, there we go. Again, still better to use plastic. There we go. That's it. That's all she wrote. So once you got this, you should be able to hinge it up. Kind of pull it up here. And there it is, right there. And so there you go. Yeah, so that edge, so this edge right here definitely has a wider bezel. You can see that it's wider there versus these smaller edges. So there is more adhesive there than there is over here, which has made it so hard to come off. So there we go. And then of course, when I was talking about like edges wise is, I don't know, it's going to be hard to even show on screen here, but the edges, all of this is black paint. So if you use metal, right, by using metal, you can scratch that black paint, which then turns into transparent glass. So the best, I think the solution there would be once you're done, maybe take a little bit of black Sharpie or something around the edges, wherever you might have used the pry tool, because what's going to happen is once you put it on, you're going to notice it and it might bother you. But outside of that, just a clean, there it is. So that's the hardest part of this kit replacement here. And then after that, it's just going to go, it's going to go right here. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It'll go right there when it's done. So I think I'm going to call it for a little bit. I'm coming back to this maybe tomorrow or tonight. I am beat. That took longer than it should have. But everything seems to be pretty modular at this point. The next step needs to be get this frame out. Once this frame comes out, you got to transfer it over to the new shell, and the new shell is right here. And I will film all of this when I'm doing it and throw it up, and maybe edit all of this together as one video for sure. A lot of chit chat, a lot of lollygagging on the stream, but it's looking like I'm not seeing any other screws over here. Oh no, yeah, I lied. So it looks like there are screws holding it down from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 screws here, and that will hold this aluminum subframe. So get those undone and then transfer it over, and I think that will do it. Again, and then I'm just gonna work in reverse. Put the new buttons in, and I will post on Twitter and put another video up when it's done. All right. Well, take care, everyone. I think I'm done for the night. I just really, my neck is starting to hurt, and this took 2 hours and change, and I'm still not done. And that shouldn't have taken that long. But again, I did not look at the video only because I feel like this is how you learn, and I get to do something different. All right, thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Again, it was fun just to do it on stream. I had to do it anyway, and might as well turn on the camera since I had nothing to do tonight. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Be kind. See you next week.